guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about Momala. Oh, Momala. You know, I don't always say I told you so, but when I do, it's because I told you so. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know and probably have remembered me saying something about the next stop on this roadmap of inflation is going to be price controls. I have said this probably for over, here and there for like the last 2 years on this channel. And the only reason I say that, and the only reason I can reliably predict that is because of what history tells us. We have seen this play out over and over and over again. And so Momala has come out and she has made it very clear that she's going to enact a federal enforcement plan for price controls for bad actors who might take advantage of you poor, helpless consumers.
So believe me, as president, I will go after the bad actors. And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crises and break the rules.
Notice that she also has a problem with reading teleprompters. Again, it's that public school education that most of these leftists have all, been, indoctrinated with. They can't read. And so it's price gouging, Momala. Gouging, not gauging. So anyway, forget that. She's going to try to push this ban on, price gauging because, the people are crying out and help. Momala, help us. And this is something that, politicians throughout history have done. And Zero Hedge has an article. Let's check this out. Over at zerohedge.com, Kamala Harris' price control plan would cause a widespread supply chain crisis. Now, why would Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge be saying this? Because he, like me, can also read a history book. The Democrats have been instituting a propaganda campaign to hide or deny the effects of inflation ever since Joe Biden took office in 2021. At first, they claimed there was no inflationary threat. Then they claimed inflation was just transitory. Then the CPI hit 40-year highs, and they were forced to admit that inflation was an issue.
Yeah, boy.
But refused to admit the true cause, helicopter money from the Federal Reserve to fund various stimulus programs the U.S. cannot afford. Instead, Biden and Harris argued that the business world was to blame and high prices were a product of price gauging, if you're Kamala Harris and can't read. The establishment media has been running with this narrative for years, even though it has been thoroughly debunked, because all you have to do is read a history book. Retail prices have risen in direct correlation to the increases in production cost. As prices in raw materials and manufacturing rise, the prices on the shelf rise. And as too many dollars chase too few goods, the manufacturing sector struggles to keep up with labor demands. More labor with higher wages and a strained supply mean higher prices. And they have a chart down here which shows all of the increased costs that businesses are experiencing.
Damn, skip me.
So a little over a year ago, we purchased the company Perfect Pickler. And so we've been really struggling with inventory over the last few months. And that's why I've not been promoting it, often on my channel. And I finally got a bunch of inventory in. It's been a struggle. When you're actually producing a product that's sold in stores, like it's sold, a lot of you guys are familiar with Layman's. Layman's sells Perfect Pickler products. You can find these in various places online. And I went ahead and redid some of the manufacturing. I went ahead and I'm doing all these things, and finally the inventory is coming in, but I'm seeing the increased cost and prices. This was a product that we inherited from the company, and I went ahead and made a value package and redesigned the packaging for that. And so it costs money, and the prices are going up. And I'm like, I can't believe sometimes the amount of things, the prices are, how high they're going on so many of these things, and the parts that are included in the kit that we have to purchase separately. And I try to keep everything American or North American made, and that's getting harder and harder to do and get quality products, to make up the products that we offer. So it's like, you understand that these companies the cost of labor is going up, and so you got to pay your workers more. The cost of manufacturing is going up, so you got to pay higher prices for that. The cost of just keeping the lights on, electricity, all that stuff, overhead, all that stuff goes up. And that all gets passed down to the consumer. That's not price gouging. That's the cost of doing business. And so historically, what happens when you start to make price caps or you restrict, the amount of how high prices can go, the manufacturers, the people who sell the products, just stop selling the products. They just stop selling it because it's not worth it. If I can only sell this, I'm giving examples here. If I can only sell this for $20 because the government has a cap on it, but it cost me $30 to build it and to ship it out, I'm not shipping them out anymore. I'm not taking a loss. I'm not going to lose money because that's the whole point of being in business. So what happens is, and so here's the thing. I thought that was very fascinating. Someone, a friend of ours, sent us a screenshot of Brighteon. I think that's the Health Ranger Mike Adams website. And basically it asked a question, will soldiers now be at your grocery stores? Kamala to announce government price controls on food. Famine incoming. Full-blown communism is now upon us. Communist Kamala is set to announce government price controls on groceries. This will lead to widespread food scarcity, empty shelves, long lines, and food rationing. The rationing will be enforced at gunpoint by armed government soldiers at grocery stores. Now, I think that's a little, come on now. All right, let's be honest here. Those who criticize the government will see their rations cut in half. And so they have these pictures of these law enforcement officers in the grocery store. And I don't see that as something that is probably going to happen. The reason why, historically, when you look back through this, you just don't see grocery stores anymore. You don't see soldiers in grocery stores because you don't see grocery stores.
Come on, man.
The grocery stores just go away because, again, no one is able to produce the products. They're not afford to, the shipping cost, the labor cost, the printing cost of all the packaging, all that stuff goes up and they can't do it anymore. So they just don't ship it to the grocery stores and the grocery stores just close down. That's what happens. There's no need for soldiers at the grocery store because there will be no grocery store. Again, so I keep mentioning to you guys that, this is historically documented. We know this by history. And it was interesting. There's a channel that I love watching. The name of the channel on YouTube is Classical Numismatics. And he did a video just the other day. I would highly recommend checking it out. And leave a comment over there. Let him know I sent you over. Anyway, Classical Numismatics did a video on money changers. Money changers throughout the Roman Empire. Fascinating video, not very long, pretty short, and very, very informative. Anyway, he gives us one screenshot of these 4 Roman coins that were all printed about the same time throughout different parts of the empire. And he mentions that 3 of these coins have a silver content of around 30%. And then he has one with a silver content of less than 10%. Can you tell which one that is from the picture? I bet you can. And so, again, this is not a new problem. This is not a problem we've never encountered before. We know what price controls do. And he talks about the price control, or maybe he doesn't mention this in this video, or maybe it's another video. But going all the way back to Roman times, I think it was Diocletian who enacted the first edict on price controls. Diocletian. And we know, again, we have historical records, what happens when you do that. Either people don't pay attention at all, they ignore them completely, and they raise prices however you want. But if you do have such enforcement at hand, like old Momala is pretending that she has, or maybe she does have, then what happens is things just stop getting produced. Things just stop getting produced. You don't have anything on the shelves because it's not worth it to manufacturers and producers to produce and manufacture because there's no money in it. I can't pay myself and I can't pay my workers. So it just stops. And so we have, in fact, I don't know, I can't remember which emperor, if Classical Numismatics can tune into my channel and watch this video. That is a silver denarius that's about 1,800 years old. And I've been told, if I remember right, that the silver content of that one is around 80%, 75%. And the Roosevelt dime that you see there is a silver dime. It's got a 90% silver content. So close to the same, but not exactly. My point being is that when all throughout history, when emperors or rulers or presidents who can't pronounce price gouging come into power, they reduce the value of their currency by printing it into oblivion. Thus, the currency buys less. And, and so then they start to enact price control. So we're at the point now where your currency is buying much, much less than it used to. And now we are at the point where price gauging is being enacted. There you go. Here's a modern example. The $100 trillion of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. That's a real printed bill. $100 trillion. This stuff happens. It's happened many, many times. And so my point being is, what is the solution for you? How do you navigate these tumultuous? She can't read, I can't pronounce. How are you going to navigate this horrible era of price gauging? You're going to print your own money by growing your own food. That's what you're going to do. This is pizza sauce. I made pizza sauce, and I mistakenly said, hey, you put caraway seed in your pizza sauce to make it taste more like pizza sauce as opposed to spaghetti sauce. And all of you corrected me, and I even had someone in the neighborhood, a friend of ours, give me some fennel seed. So I said, I don't have any fennel seed. And they said, Zach, here you go. Here's some fennel seed. So the next time I make pizza sauce from my tomatoes out in my garden, because I got a bunch of tomatoes out there still, I'll be doing some more canning probably this week. I'll be adding maybe a little bit of fennel seed to my batch of pizza sauce, because they say that is how you distinct pizza sauce from spaghetti sauce. Because other than that, the ingredients are usually about the same. My point being on all this, the cake is baked. You're going to experience hyperinflation. The only way you avoid this is to stop printing money and to stop spending money. The two things that Congress won't do and the Federal Reserve won't do. So what's the alternative? If they did do those things, you would have a deflationary depression like we experienced in the 1930s. There'll be food in the grocery stores, but there won't be any money for you to buy it. On an inflationary depression, which is much more dangerous, much more devastating, there won't be grocery stores to begin with. The grocery stores will just, close down. And you're going to have this. You're going to have that. One or the other. Or they're going to have to restructure the currency somehow and, back it with something of confidence, because the whole world is losing confidence as we speak in the US dollar. So the way you get out of this, the way you prepare for this, because it's coming. That cake is baked. The Titanic has hit the iceberg and sank to the bottom of the sea. It's over. The way you prepare for this is print your own money by growing your own food, stockpiling some food, rice, beans, whatever. And you take matters into your own hands and, again, print your money. Print your own. Come up with your own currency by growing food. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this little history lesson. I love history. And again, check out Classical Numismatics, the channel over there. He has some great videos from time to time, very informative. And I like watching and see the stuff that he puts out. A lot of it is it can be very much linked to the situations sometimes we find ourselves in today. History, they say history never repeats, it only rhymes. Sometimes history just repeats. It just darn well repeats. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Check out our merchandise over at teespring.com. You can find our Stupid Should Hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less Momalas running around. And also, we do have kits in stock for the Perfect Pickler. We have our value package kit that is for sale right now. And we have the Master System kit. Either of these will have everything you need in them to get started on fermenting. I'm going to do some pickles coming up soon. I got amazing. I've been fermenting pickles all summer long from the cucumbers in my garden. Very good probiotics, very healthy probiotics. Check it out and get yourself a kit and send us pictures of what you're fermenting. I'd love to see that too. You can contact us over at AmericanHomestead.com. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. In the spring of 2024, Saudi Arabia ended the long-held practice of requiring its oil to be sold in U.S. currency. And recently, governments around the world have been repatriating their physical gold from Western banks, opting instead to hold that gold within their own borders. China, meanwhile, continues to set records in terms of stockpiling its physical gold reserves, while at the same time dumping billions in US treasuries. All these instances can otherwise be called indicators. Indications that the world is readying itself to participate in trade that does not involve the United States or the dollar. And at home, our banks are showing signs of a deflationary collapse, in which case the FDIC does not have a fraction of the funds on hand to ensure you can get your money should your bank fail. On the other hand, they keep telling us inflation is getting under control, but for some reason, the prices we pay day to day keep going up and products we pay for keep getting smaller. I've put a link in the description below this video that will allow you to start the process to convert money you may have already saved into precious metals that you yourself can hold. You hold it, you own it. Throughout history, precious metals have always been accepted for goods and services, even in the most chaotic of economies and war-torn countries, dating all the way back to when Alexander the Great ruled the known world. Guys, we're over $35 trillion in debt. If you're concerned, I don't blame you. ITM Trading has a well-documented history of helping people put their money into physical metals that you hold. Again, if you hold it, you own it. Hit that link below and see how ITM Trading can help you get the ball rolling towards financial sustainability. The consultation is free and there's no pressure. They will show you your options based on your concerns and goals you have for the future. By doing this, you're safeguarding wealth just like people have done successfully for literally thousands of years. You are now part of that history. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh wait.